Fam, not every statement win comes with a 20-point margin. Sometimes the loudest message is, yeah, we can close in your house, shorthanded with all the pressure on us, and still walk out with the dub. That's exactly what we did in Louisville. Fam, what's up with the squad? It's your favorite auntie with Uncle tendencies. Welcome back to Cess Talk Sports. Shout out to my loyal family. Keep pulling up. And if you're new around here, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you never miss a drop. And everybody, like, comment, share, and like this video so I know you pulled up. We're going to break down a grown-up win, y'all. Our 79-77 road dub over number 22 Louisville in the ACC SEC Challenge. This wasn't just chaos and whistles. This was us showing we could close, shorthanded on the road in a one-possession game against a ranked team that threw every trick in the book at us. Noah got mature, bench minutes thin, loud building, Jeff Walz in his bag with those junk defenses, and still, when it was winning time, we showed we learned from the last game how to finish the job. So y'all get comfy, grab a snack, drop a road test pass to check in the comments so I know you locked in. And let's talk about how we prove we can close tight games and not just run folks out the gym. We live in a different zip code of expectations, all right? Under Coach Don Staley, Big Drip, we're not just another top 25 program. We're the program everybody circles. Every time we step into somebody else's arena, that's the biggest day on their calendar. Every scout, every game plan, every pep talk is built around how do we take down South Carolina. So rolling into Louisville on December 4th, we weren't just the number 3 team in the country. We were walking in as a standard. They were hunting a statement. We were looking for something too. Proof that we could respond to adversity, lock in with a short rotation, and close out a tight game on the road when things got uncomfortable. Louisville came in with 7 straight losses to ranked teams, a coach with too much pride to lay down, and a fan base desperate to scream, "We're back" on national TV. What we walked out with wasn't just another check mark in the win column. We walked out with a lesson learned and a message sent. We can win pretty, we can win ugly, and now we've shown we can win tight in a hostile building, shorthanded when it's all about execution, possession by possession. Let's talk about why this was such a valuable test for us. Our identity under Don, you know it, is defensive pressure, rebounding dominance, and paint control. We want to suffocate teams, own the glass, and play downhill. When it's all flowing, that turns into 90-point nights and long runs that feel like avalanches. This year, we blended that identity with new pieces in the deep guard room. They're still figuring out exactly how all the roles fit. That's kind of where the logjam come in a little bit. We got Raven, Anaya, Tessa headlining, with players like Auntie and Isla trying to carve their lane and make their presence felt when their numbers called. And it got being out for this one, and the rotation gets even tighter. Across from us, you got Jeff Walz, and he wasn't about to just play us straight up. Walz looked at us and said, "Cool, y'all got size and talent? We're going to throw y'all in the funhouse mirror. Junk defenses, morphing zones, random traps, full court pressure, everything designed to take us out of rhythm, speed up our decision-making, and test whether we could still execute late when the game got choppy." Then he added the wrinkle of starting sophomore forward Anaya Hardy to match our size and length, basically telling her, you getting your first big test against South Carolina. So this game turned into more than just who had the better roster. It became a perfect exam. Can we keep our composure? Can we adjust on the fly? And most importantly, can we close when the other coach turns the game into chaos? By the end of the night, the answer was hell yeah. We're going to give credit where it's due, because part of closing as a team is understanding exactly who pushed you. Anaya Hardy, second-year player at Louisville, Detroit Renaissance product. You can see that city in her game. AP first-team All-State, Detroit Free Press first-team All-Area, 3 straight PSL titles, dropping 28-12 in the championship game, followed that up with a 2017-11 trip dub with blocks against Macomb, Dakota. That resume says, I'm used to being the problem. College numbers before this game, listen, quiet. Less than a point a game. Not many boards. But Walz looked at South Carolina on the schedule, looked at his front court, and basically said, if you're going to be the future, tonight you get thrown into the fire. From the jump, she didn't look rattled. At 6'3", she gave Louisville a presence that made our post catches tougher and our angles tighter. She switched on the guards without panicking. She banged with Madina and Joyce like she belonged in that matchup. Her real impact, though, showed up in the game's geometry, closing lanes, challenging passes, being in the mix on every rebound in crunch time. That's exactly the kind of player who forces you to grow up and execute cleaner late. And then in the biggest moments, Walz trusted her touch, her processing, her poise. That late possession where she skied up, caught the pass, and delivered a beautiful diamond traffic, that's IQ. That's feel. That's the type of opponent you want to see in December, so you sharper and mark. Then, of course, the final scramble after Madina's missed free throws. Hardy's right there, fighting like crazy for that last chance board. She made us play all the way through the horn, 40 minutes. That's how you test a closing team. From our standpoint, she's a future headache for the ACC, and she helped sharpen us in one night. If Hardy tested us inside, Tajianna Roberts tested how locked in we were on the perimeter. 20 points, 8 for 18 from the floor, 4 of 8 from 3. Every time our closeouts were half a step late or our help was just a little too deep, she punished us. But more than the numbers, she played with a calm that pushed us to stay disciplined, breaking pressure, steadying their offense, creating shots against our best defenders. She played like she was ready for this stage. And when we talk about learning to close, this is where you see the value of this game. Down to 2 in the final seconds, Walz doesn't overthink it. He draws up a play specifically for Roberts. They execute. She gets a clean look from the wing to win it all. And misses wide right. That shot forced us to stay mentally present through the last possession. No celebrating early, no assuming anything. We had to track the ball, secure the rebound, and finish the game correctly. Those are the reps you can't simulate in practice. So while Roberts didn't get the hero moment on the scoreboard from our side, she gave us exactly the kind of pressure we need if we're going to be a team that doesn't just blow people out, but closes one-possession games with confidence. Let's walk through how we built the lead we eventually had to protect. First quarter, this thing had real track meet energy. Most people expected an offensive slugfest, but early on, it looked like 2 offensive trading haymakers. Raven had us organized and aggressive, ball swinging side to side, deep touches, kickouts, smart pace. You could tell she read the jump defenses and said, okay, if you're going to stunt and trap like that, we'll just move it faster and smarter. And Tessa Johnson, she was on demon time early. 10 points in the first quarter. Deep threes, movement, cuts. That first quarter burst is exactly the kind of spark that lets us set the terms of the game. When Tessa is stretching the floor like that, it's almost impossible for teams to completely load up on Madina and Joyce without paying for it. Louisville matching us shot for shot kept us honest. They hit 12 of 19 shots in that opening frame. Roberts and team were hurting us early in transition and early off. That's where you start learning. Okay, if the other team can score 2, can we still control the tempo and build enough of a cushion we can manage late? We closed the first up 27-25. Second quarter, things start to look more like we expected. Walz's defense began to muddy the water. Open looks shrink, angles aren't as clean, but this is where our ability to manage a game shows up. We don't panic. We don't fully lose our identity. Raven keeps directing traffic. We keep going to our strengths, paint touches, rebounding, playing through our core. We manufacture a little separation and take a 45-39 lead in the halftime. Field goal percentage around 50%. Rebounding edge, and even though the bench wasn't really involved yet, we have put ourselves in a position where if we executed late, we could walk out comfortable. The lesson? We proved we can build a lead on the road with our offense, not just our defense. Third quarter is where we got our first serious closing test. We come out of halftime and do what we're supposed to do as a top team. Push that lead to 11 with a quick burst. 50-39, it felt like we were on the verge of breaking them. That's usually where our runs go from dangerous to it's over. But to their credit, Louisville refused to let that happen. They punched back with an 8-0 run. Crowd wakes up. We had a stretch where our offense stalls, and suddenly the game tightens again. They outscore us 23-18 in a quarter, and the lead shrinks to a single point headed into the fourth. From a closing standpoint, that's gold. We didn't get to cruise. We had to feel what it's like for a home team to climb all the way back into the game, for momentum to swing, for your double-digit lead to disappear, and still stay composed enough to respond later. Amid all of that, we got a big-time growth flash from Joyce Edwards. She knocks down the first 3 of her college career in this environment. That's not just about 3 points on the scoreboard. That's about confidence and versatility. She's already a beast around the rim and a chaos engine on defense. But seeing her step into that shot in that moment, that's a glimpse into the matchup nightmare she's going to become. 3 steals in the game, impact everywhere. And now we know in a hostile building, she can still rise up and take a shot outside her usual comfort zone. That's the stuff that pays off later when we closing games in March and April. Now we get the meat of what you asked for. How we showed we can close shorthanded on the road in a close game. We start the fourth and it's ugly. Shots ain't falling. We open 2 for 13 from the field. Louisville keeps belief. The building is humming. They go on a run and grab a 5-point lead with about 4:23 left. This is the exact spot where lesser teams fold. Tired legs, short bench, home crowd smelling blood. Junk defense is still flying around. Dawn looks at the situation and makes her call. She keeps riding with the starting 5. Raven, Tanaya, Tessa, Joyce, Madina. Noah got minimal bench contributions, just us and our core group. From the outside, you might say that's risky. But from within the program, that's Dawn doubling down on 2 things. Her trust in her main group and the need to learn how to close with that group in high-pressure games. And here's what's changed. We tightened up defensively first. Last 4 minutes, we hold Louisville to 1 for 6 from the field. That's closing. That's what experienced programs do. When the offense hits a rough patch, the defense steps forward and says, we got it. Rebounds get stronger. Rotations get sharper. No more easy rhythm looks. We force them to make tough shots, and they don't. Then on the offensive end, we finally lock back into who we are. We stop trying to cute our way through it and start leaning back into our interior anchor, Madina Okot. She scores a big chunk of her 23 points in the second half, and a bunch of those come when the game is hanging in the balance. We go back to the paint, back to the mismatches, back to our strength. With a minute 33 left, down 1, we throw it to Madina. She delivers in the post and puts us up 76-75. That ends up being our last field goal. But the mindset shift is the lesson. In a tight game on the road, shorthanded, we remember who we are and play through our center. Then we had to handle the late game details, timeouts, fouls, free throws, last shot defense. And yeah, it got messy with those missed free throws. But even that is a part of the growth. We learn what it feels like to be on the line when the game's in your hands. We learn how to defend a well-executed last shot. We learned how to finish the game with a wild loose ball scramble instead of assuming the clock would save us. It wasn't about survival. It was about learning how to execute and close when everything is loud, tired, and tight. Let's hit the key performances that made this closing lesson possible. Madina Okot, closer in the paint. 23 points, 13 rebounds, 7 double-double, and a big chunk of those points in crunch time. She didn't have her most efficient night finishing, and the free throws late will be something she works on. But when it came time to close, we went to her, and she delivered. That's what you want from your anchor. Tessa Johnson, tone setter and spacer. 20 points, 7 boards, 4-8 from 3, and those 10 early points that forced Louisville to stretch out their defense. That early work is what allowed us to lean on the paint later, because the defense knew if they overhelped, she torched them again. Joyce Edwards, two-way growth, 12 points, 3 steals, and her first career 3 in a hostile building. She changed possessions all over the floor and showed that as she develops, she's going to be a key piece in future closing lineups because she can guard multiple spots and now stretch the floor. Raven Johnson, floor general under fire. 11 points, 8 assists, and big minutes of dealing with nonstop pressure and chaos. The fact that we were in position to close it all comes back to how she managed the game, read the defenses, and made sure we stayed within our structure when everything around us was trying to pull us into chaos. On the Louisville side, the players who forced us to grow, Roberts, Istanbulolu, Scott, and Hardy, were vital to making this more than just another blowout. They made us earn this, and that's exactly why this win matters so much for our development. We're not going to pretend the whistle didn't feel lopsided at times, but we don't talk referees over here. That crew working this second straight game, Louisville getting a lot of contact grace on our drives, those are factors that push you out of your comfort zone. But again, that's part of the story of learning how to close. You're not always going to get a friendly whistle in March. You're not always going to feel like the game is fair. Champions learn how to win anyway. Dawn called it a heavyweight bout and was honest about the toll it took. She also admitted she went into the game wanting to build her bench up and ended up having to ride the starters in the fourth. From the outside, we can look at that and say, we need more bench production. From the inside, it's also a real-time decision that gave our core group high pressure, high minute closing reps on the road. On the flip side, Walz came out proud of his team, execution, and effort. From his perspective, this game reinforced that Louisville can stand in the ring with the sport's elite. From ours, it reinforced that we can finish in that environment, even when we're not at full strength. Big picture, here's what this game taught us. The bench still has to grow, but this game gave Dawn clarity on who she could trust in tight spots. Now the task is bringing Miriam, Isla, and others along so we're deeper when it really counts. Madina is our closing barometer. When the game gets tight, we learn we can settle ourselves by going through her in the paint, even when she's having an up and down night. That's huge. Our stars can handle games that aren't blowouts. We already know we can front run, separate, and bury teams. Now we've got tape on how we handle a team that won't go away in a building that's loud when every possession matters. And of course, we could close shorthanded on the road in a close game. That's a muscle you build, and we just got a big rep in. So when that bus pulled away from the KFC Yum Center, it wasn't just exhaustion and relief. It was growth. South Carolina 79, Louisville 77. Record moves to 8-1, ACC streak hits 21. And we add another piece to who we are. We're not just a team that can dominate, we're a team that can finish. Road environment, shorthanded rotation, one possession game. And we closed it out. Imperfect? Absolutely. Valuable? More than almost any 25-point win we'll see on the schedule. Drop a comment and let me know, fam. What did this game teach you about our ability to close? Which moment screamed growth to you? Madina's go-ahead bucket, Joyce's 3, Raven's composure, or us getting that final stop and rebound? And who pushed us more in your eyes? Roberts on the perimeter or Hardy in the paint? Y'all make sure y'all drop a comment with your thoughts on how we proved we could close shorthanded on the road in this 79-77 win at Louisville. Who impressed you the most, and what you think this means for our championship run? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share this video with somebody who loves the game and the Gamecocks. Catch y'all next time on Let's Talk Sports, where we always bring you the latest on the rising stars and legends in the making. Keep hooping. Stay tuned. Talk soon, y'all. I'm out.